Call me Superman. Actually, that's an insult. I at least have a personality.
Yep, that's me.
Hello, beautiful bookish people. My name is Hannah, and since the last Secret TBR video, I have discovered that, in fact, I like doing Secret TBR. So we have done another one where I read the first 5 books that I saw on Twitter. And I think without further ado, I think we should just pass it on to Past Hannah so you can see what books that I'm reading that I saw on Twitter. Please, no priority of an orange tree. Thank you. Let's go. Oh wow. So I just saw, okay, so the first one I see is Angela is reading, or is 13% done with The Turn of the Key, which is actually really cool because I know my mom has that book, so we're gonna see if we can borrow it for this video. Okay. You know what? That's not bad. We can do that one. Scrolling. Okay, so Jenna gave 3 out of 5 stars to Pride and Prejudice and Other Flavors. That looks like a Pride and Prejudice retelling. No kidding, idiot. Okay, I can do that one. That one is definitely in my wheelhouse. Rachel is doing a giveaway for her Royal Highness. Carry on my wayward son. Okay, alright. Wow, oh my god. Carly is on page 150 of Carry On by Rainbow Rowell, which is fitting because I think Wayward Son is coming out in the next day or 2 days from now, so that makes sense that I would see that. So far, I'm okay with these choices. So, and then the last one I can do is that Carrie from Carrie the Book Bell are doing a trash back book club live show tonight, and they're reading Vampire Academy, and I've never read Vampire Academy, so let's go. I can do that. I don't know when I'll see you next time. This has been Hannah from the past coming at you with an idea, and goodbye. Man, thanks Past Hannah, you really came through. So today we have read those 5 books, and we're gonna do a fun little wrap up. The first one that I read from that collection was Vampire Academy, and this is actually the one I gave the highest rating of 4 stars. So Vampire Academy is about this girl named Rose Hathaway, and she is protecting her friend Lisa. It's Lisa with an extra S. I don't know pronounce that, because tragedy has struck and her family has had a blood tragedy. Very vampire, I understand. Until the school kind of reaches out saying hey, you can come back, it's a little safe now. And so they've made a spot for Lisa and her guardian Rose. But secrets are being leaked, people are not who they say they are, and there's vampire prejudice now. So there's basically 3 types of vampires in this series. There's the good, the bad, and then the half-human. And it was kind of really interesting to see Rochelle Mead play on the different types of vampire, because obviously vampire lore is very expansive, so it's interesting to see a different take on it versus the classic Twilight, they just eat animal blood. I definitely feel though that if this were published today, there would be some slight modifications. It's interesting, I think this book was published in 2007. There was some slut shaming, some interesting girl hate, and there was kind of a teacher student relationship, but he's a mentor. Not gonna lie, there's this guy named Christian in it. He's very much a soft bad boy, and I liked that a lot. But Rochelle Mead does a lot of characterization. I definitely understand why a lot of people love Rose as a protagonist. She's very strong and stubborn. There's definitely triggers for self-harm and depression, pretty explicit in this book, which I wasn't expecting. But I definitely feel Michelle handled it very, very well. I also want to talk about real quick, there's this is a very niche trope that I love. It's when stuff or stuff happens at like a dance, and then they have to like fight in their suits and their dresses, or like they have to take their heels off and like fight bad guys. I love that trope. It happens in Sky High and like the My Hero Academia movie, and I don't know how to like search for it, so I can't find like other books with it. But if you have any suggestions where like a big fight happens at a dance and it's unexpected, I freaking love that trope. It's definitely a fun ride. It's very 2000s. It feels like it was written in 2000. But it's a very fun read. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much. I liked the story. It's not mind-blowing or anything like that, but Rochelle Mead like hits the beats, and it's a very solid story. So I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was honestly the best book out of the bunch. Okay, because guys, I have some very unpopular opinions, because the next book that I read was The Turn of the Key. Shout out to my mom for letting me borrow it. She probably wants this back now. But this is about this girl named Rowan, and she is a nanny, and she is looking to leave London, so she sees this opportunity to go to this high estate up in Scotland, and it's very like Victorian, very rich, fancy mansion, and she interviews and gets the job, and she's kind of not what she seems. She, what they say, embellished her resume. The house is basically one big Alexa. Like, you can go into a shower and say like, hey, can you make the shower a certain temperature, and like it'll do it. It is also called Happy, which is interesting. And then there's like stuff moving, maybe people going in the attic, and it's told through like it's a backstory. And Ronan is actually in prison, and she's been falsely accused, what she says, and is trying to write letters to this lawyer saying like, will you represent me? Honestly, thought this fell flat. Like, there was a lot of different avenues that I wanted it to explore more. Like, I wanted a more like maybe Black Mirror look at the house of like why technology could be like ruining what we want. I felt like the love interest was very obvious, like what was going to happen. This strategy of like writing a thriller is like you have to listen to every detail, because every detail matters, because it will all come and make sense at the end, which is very typical for a thriller writer to do. But when you get to the end, it doesn't feel worth it. The author wants you to think that it's very complicated and you have to listen to every detail, but in reality, you don't. If you have to constantly tell your reader like suspense is coming, like you won't believe it, like it serves the point of like maybe your story isn't that suspenseful. If you have to constantly be telling us that it's coming, you won't believe what happens. Like, it, to me, it wasn't surprising, and it didn't lead anywhere. The next book is Her Royal Highness, and this is about a girl from Texas, and she has recently found out that her girlfriend has been cheating on her. And so to kind of rediscover herself or figure out what she wants to do, she goes and does this scholarship program up in Scotland, where she is roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
With the Princess Flora of Scotland. Now this is a very cute romance where it's cute but not complex. It's a very straightforward romance, and I like that. But to me, some of the elements did fall flat. Like, the characters felt very two-dimensional. It kind of fell under that one category of like Anna and the French Kiss. Like, you love France, but you didn't know the birthplace of film was in France. Like, you love Scotland only because you love the movie Brave and Braveheart, and you don't know who the royalty is. Like, that feels very off to me. But like, if you are obsessed with Scotland, it feels like you would know more about it. It's very cute. There was a lot of like wholesome, cute scenes and grand gestures. So I ended up just giving this 3 stars because it was very cute. If you're in a slump and want a very formulaic romance that has maybe a royalty trope, yeah, super cute. I would recommend it. Other than that, it kind of didn't do anything for me. Now, this next book is Carry On. Well, we all know what Carry On is. It's basically Harry Potter and Draco fan fiction. I know this, you know this, but Rainbow Rowell doesn't know this. So I read Fangirl before this, so I feel like the main point of Carry On is like we know what's gonna happen. It's like Simon and Baz are gonna end up together, but it takes so long. It takes 150 pages for Baz to just show up. Why? Couldn't tell you. Like, I like the trope enemies to lovers, but there needs to be build up to it. I felt like it leaned too much into fan fiction and then not enough in some areas. So like there's a scene where Baz is like, oh, why don't you come home for Christmas with me? And Simon's like, oh, I don't know, you kind of make me nervous. And then he doesn't go. And then 50 pages later, he goes. And I was like, what is the point? You just wasted 50 pages. This book didn't need to be that long if you just like got to the point sooner. And then too fanficky is like the scene where Simon and Baz finally kiss. Simon only kisses Baz because Baz is gonna kill himself, which is not healthy. This is a published work and you have to do the development and lay the groundwork and do some build up and setup for me, A, to believe it, and B, maybe don't do that. It didn't feel healthy. It was too fanficky, but not enough fanficky in the place I wanted it. And that's the only explanation I feel like I can place for it. Anywho, the next book is Pride and Prejudice and Other Flavors. And can I just say, this is the only book that I bought for this experiment. We love using our resources. Shout out to the library. If you can't tell by the title, this is a Pride and Prejudice retelling where our main protagonist, Trish, is the Darcy and our guy, DJ, is the Elizabeth character. Now, Trish is a very successful surgeon and her patient, Emma, is going to go blind because there's a tumor wrapped around her optical nerve. I don't know, I'm not a science person. And DJ is the brother to the patient of Trisha, and so they're spending a lot of time together, and it was really interesting to kind of see the reverse swap of a female reading into signs versus a guy, and it kind of brings a new element to the prejudice aspect of it. And Trisha is very smitten with DJ, but he doesn't return her feelings in the beginning, but it felt realistic. I would say it's a very loose retelling of Pride and Prejudice. It doesn't follow the same beats. So if that's more your style of like, you don't like your retellings to follow the exact same beats, this is more of that alley. The thing I want to talk about that really felt like troubling to me was this scene. So there's this character named Yash who is going to be, or wants to run for governor, but the author treats, because he was sexually assaulted, like his rape, as a scandal. And there's like this certain mention of like, if he reports this rape, he'll bring back feminism 100 decades just because he's a male victim. And I was like, no, that's not how this works. Just because he's a male victim of sexual assault does not mean that if it's reported, it'll bring back feminism 100 years. Like, that's the complete opposite effect. And it was like, how and why and what? To like invalidate like male assault victims was like truly sickening. Did not like that. Males can be raped, females can be rapists. It doesn't invalidate feminism. So, after a little rant, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Keep reading and all that jazz. while scrolling after midnight. But your mom is the ice cream. I was hoping you may be somewhere on Twitter. I've been just staring off into the distance for like a minute now, just thinking about it. Scrolling for me. Because tragedy has struck. That was some Patsy Cline, if Patsy Cline was a millennial. I wasn't expecting this video to be like so negative, but you know, you live and you learn.